For thousands of years, different forms of government have been created, evolving over the time. These include theocracy, aristocracy, tyranny, dictatorship, communism, and democracy. However, despite these changes, one question still arises today, and is why do countries like Colombia have a president while others such as Spain and England have kings? And more important, what do these kings actually do? So in the chapter of today, we are going to talk about we are going to answer these two questions. But first, to answer this, we need to know what is a monarchy, how it functions, how it's organized, the different types, and the origin. So first, what is a monarchy? A monarchy is a form of government in which there is a monarch who may be a king, a queen, a prince, an emperor, a sultan, or other titles, and this plays a political role that, depending in the case, have more or less importance in his country. First, we need to talk about these cases. We have two cases when it comes to political power. The first one is that the power is entirely centralized in the hands of the monarch, who governs all the state by his own. In other cases, the monarch plays more a symbolic role with his nation, but not have too much political power. After that, we need to know how is the selection of the monarch. That we have two options. The first option is the hereditary. That means that the power is going down from generation to generation in the same family. But we have another option that is the elective, where the monarch is chosen through a political process. After that, we need to know one last thing, that is that a monarch have this power for life. So he has one option to abdicate and transfer his position, or he will wait so for his death. Now we need to talk about the origin of the monarchy. First is the etymology of the word monarchy. This one comes from Greek, combining the words monos, that means single, and arche, that means rule, reflecting the idea of one single leader as the ruler. So, the start, like the origin, the first forms of monarchy emerged in ancient times, particularly in the Middle East and the Mediterranean region. After that, we have civilizations such as Egypt and Mesopotamia, in where the monarchy was not only a system of government but also a symbol of divinity and absolute power. Monarchs were often considered representative of the gods on earth, or even incarnate gods, which guaranteed them unquestionable authority. After that, we have the Middle Ages, that in where European monarchy prevailed under a feudal system where the monarch was no longer seen as a divine representative. After knowing the origin of the monarchies, we need to know about the main types of monarchy, that are four. First, the absolute, parliamentary, constitutional, and elective. Starting with the absolute monarchy, in these ones the power is entirely in the hands of the monarch. In this system, the monarch is considered sovereign, having absolute control over the state and its decisions. One example of this type of monarchy is in Arabia Saudi. After that, we have constitutional monarchies, in where the monarch is not the head of the state, but is like the head of the state, but not the head of the government, and have more like a symbolic and representative role. And the government is led by a prime minister or another elected leader. An example of this one is Japan and Sweden. After that, we have the parliamentary monarchy that is like the same of a constitutional, but the monarch plays an even more symbolic role, and the power is exercised by the parliament. An example of this one is England and Spain. And the last one is the elective monarchy, in where the monarch is chosen through an election, usually by an electoral college or an assembly. Some examples of this one are Malaysia and Ciudad del Vaticano. And last thing, the two questions that we say in the start of the chapter. First, what is the role of a king, or what do these kings actually do? So really, it depends more in the cases like we can see in the chapter, but have actually they have more like a symbolic role in his nation, so they don't do too much really. And then we have why some countries have this system that is the monarchy, and others no. So we have too many reasons, but are three important. First one is that in America, with the independence process of the colonies, republics were consequently formed, which were against European monarchies. Second, due to wars and revolutions, monarchies were violently overthrown in countries like France and Mexico. And third, in Europe, monarchy is mainly seen as a key institution of the nation. So, after this, we know too much about monarchies, and we know some reasons and some examples.